Have you ever felt like you were giving everything in a relationship, doing everything possible to make the other person happy, and still felt deprived of love, like it was not enough? Have you ever wondered why some people are loved easily and effortlessly, while others have to fight for even the smallest sign of affection? If you have experienced this feeling of frustration, know that there is a precise reason why your relationships always follow the same pattern. Today you will discover the truth that will forever free you from suffering in love, because the problem is not outside. The problem lies in how you perceive yourself. And until you understand this, you will continue to seek love in the wrong places. One of Carl Jung's principles states, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This phrase explains one of the deepest mechanisms influencing our lives, especially in relationships. If you constantly feel deprived of attention or constantly find yourself in relationships where you have to strive for love and attention, it is not a coincidence. The suffering you experience is not a consequence of bad luck or meeting the wrong people. Every person who enters your life is a mirror. They reflect those parts of you that are still unhealed and the unconscious beliefs that you carry within you. This means that how others treat you is not random. It is a reflection of how you perceive yourself on a deeper level. If you subconsciously believe that you are not worthy of love, you will involuntarily choose people who will make you feel exactly that. If you are afraid of being abandoned, you will attract emotionally unavailable partners who will never give you a sense of security. If you desperately seek confirmation of your worth, you will find yourself in relationships with people who will deliberately withhold it from you, forcing you to constantly chase a love that seems unattainable. None of this happens by chance. Your unconscious mind repeatedly brings you face to face with what you need to see. The question is not, why is this person treating me this way? But what is this person showing me about myself? Until you change your attitude towards yourself, you will continue to attract people and situations that reflect your internal wounds. Where does your initial wound come from? Your need for love? Love should not be something that needs to be earned, but many of us grow up with such a belief. In childhood, how we were treated shaped our perception of love and our own worth. If you only received love under certain conditions, such as, "I only love you if you behave well," "I only love you if you get good grades," or "I only love you if you unquestioningly follow my instructions," then without realizing it, you internalize the belief that love must be earned. This mindset becomes so deeply ingrained in the unconscious that, as adults, we continue to prove our worth in relationships. We unconsciously put ourselves in situations where we need to earn love, to be ideal, always available, caring, and infinitely giving. But here is the problem. True love cannot be obtained through effort. If you believe that you must do something to be loved, you will attract situations that confirm this idea. People will come into your life who will make you feel like you are never enough. Carl Jung spoke about the shadow, the part of ourselves that we do not want to see and try to hide. The shadow consists of all the emotions, insecurities, and fears that we have learned to suppress because they make us feel vulnerable or not good enough. But every time you reject a part of yourself, you create internal conflict, and this conflict inevitably manifests in your relationships. Until you accept your shadow, the love you receive from others will be limited by the same boundaries that you set for self-love. If you hide your sensitivity, you will attract people who cannot handle your emotionality, forcing you to suppress it even more. If you are afraid of rejection, you will subconsciously choose partners who do not give you confidence because deep inside, you do not accept yourself. If you are afraid of being abandoned, you will attract people who will repeatedly confirm this fear, leaving you in a state of emotional instability. The only way to change your relationship with love is to start accepting yourself completely, even those parts that you have tried to hide. When you stop rejecting yourself, you stop attracting people who reflect this rejection. How can you radically change your relationship with love? If your past relationships have left you feeling undervalued or unloved, recognize your recurring patterns. Consider whether the same scenario repeats itself in your relationships. Do you often feel unnoticed or unworthy of relationships? If you notice common patterns, the problem is not with the people you meet, but with the deep-seated beliefs you carry within yourself. Second, stop seeking confirmation of your worth from the outside. The love you receive from others is proportional to the love you give yourself. If you want to be loved unconditionally, start by loving yourself unconditionally. The recognition and approval of others are only a reflection of your own attitude towards yourself. When you value yourself, respect your boundaries, and accept yourself with all your strengths and weaknesses, the world begins to respond to this with the same acceptance. True confidence comes from within, not from the number of likes, praise, or recognition from others. Embrace your shadow. Stop suppressing your emotions. Accept all parts of yourself, both light and dark. Your shadow is more than just shortcomings or weaknesses. It is also hidden resources, strength, and potential that you have not yet realized. When you acknowledge your fears, vulnerability, anger, and desires, they stop controlling you from within. The more authentic you become, the more you attract people who love you for who you are, not for the masks you wear. True freedom comes when you allow yourself to be whole, without fear of judgment. Fourth, break the attachment to the pain of the past. Your past disappointments, betrayals, or traumas should not define your ability to love and be loved. Often we unconsciously hold on to old pain, fearing to experience it again, but as long as you cling to the past, you allow it to continue shaping your reality. Let go of the pain by forgiving not only others but also yourself. Understand that your past is not a sentence but a lesson. The more you free up space in your heart from pain, the more space remains for love. Fifth, fully take responsibility for your love. Love is not something that others give you or do not give you. It is your internal source, and only you decide how to experience it. Stop waiting for someone to fill your emptiness or make you happy. Stop blaming circumstances or partners for your failures. Love begins with you, with how you take care of yourself. Respect your boundaries and create space for love. Take full responsibility for your love. You are no longer dependent on others, but simply share what is already inside you. Six, learn to love without fear. Fear is one of the main enemies of love. The fear of being rejected, the fear of becoming attached, the fear of losing yourself in a relationship. When you allow fear to control you, it shapes your reality. You either avoid intimacy or enter into relationships with anxiety and doubt. To radically change your relationship with love, replace fear with trust. Trust yourself, your choices, and life. Love is always a risk, but it is also the most valuable experience that makes us alive. When you stop fearing loss, love becomes free, light, and real. Seventh, stop needing, start radiating love. Love is not about taking, but about giving. If you enter into a relationship with a sense of lack, trying to fill an inner void at the expense of another person, it creates dependency, not love. Instead of waiting for love, start radiating it. Fill yourself with joy, care, and attention. Share love with those around you, expecting nothing in return. When you radiate love, it inevitably returns to you in the most unexpected and beautiful forms. Eighth, free yourself from expectations and control. Expectations are hidden demands for love that inevitably lead to disappointment. When you expect your partner to behave in a certain way, to love you as you want, or to meet your expectations, you limit the natural flow of love. True love is free from control. Allow people to be who they are and relationships to develop naturally. The less you cling to expectations, the more joy and lightness appears in your life. Ninth, make love a way of life. Love is not just about relationships with a partner. It is a state of mind that can be manifested in everything, in how you take care of yourself, how you relate to others, how you enjoy moments of life. Love is a daily choice. When you start to see beauty in the small things, be grateful for what you have and give warmth to others for no reason. Love ceases to be something external and becomes part of you. 10th, allow love to be natural. Love is not something that needs to be forced. It is a natural state that manifests when you stop resisting. Stop analyzing how to love correctly, how not to make mistakes, or how to guarantee a relationship. Love does not need control, rules, or guarantees. When you allow love to flow freely, without fear, without imposed standards, and without trying to meet others' expectations, it becomes more sincere and real. Instead of searching for love or trying to hold on to it, just allow it to be. The ultimate truth is that love is not outside, it is within you. Love is not something to be sought and not something that depends on others. It is what you become. It does not come from the outside and does not need confirmation. It is already within you, deep inside, waiting to be recognized. As soon as you start loving yourself unconditionally, you stop suffering in relationships, Stop fearing loss and no longer need someone to feel whole. You are already whole in love.